first grade. Nice job on your plant test. Now we're starting our last chapter in science, chapter 11, about pushes and pulls. All right, so here you can see some gravity here we'll be talking about when the parachuters are coming down, thankfully with their parachutes open. So on page 136, starting with forces. In really first grade, Colts, well, that is where the Indy 500 is, you know, the race car, but yeah, we're just going to go ahead and cover that up. I've always told you, always be prepared. All right, so God uses many things. He made some things you can observe with your senses. We talked about how that's seeing and hearing and touching, feeling, smelling. He made some things you cannot observe. It means you can't see it. A force is a push or a pull. You cannot observe a force, but you can observe what a force causes things to do. People, animals, and machines all use force. We call this force mechanical force. A person pushes or pulls a wagon. A dog pulls on a leash. A bulldozer pushes dirt each time a mechanical force is being used. A force can start something moving. When you throw a ball, you start the ball moving. See, you couldn't see that, but you could see what it does to the ball. And then a force can also stop something when you catch a ball. You stop the ball from moving. All right, so what is a force again? A force is a push or a pull. So on your workbook page 105, it says to write a sentence describing the force happening in each picture. If you'd like to pause to see Mrs. Olson's examples, you may. Otherwise, you can write your own, but I said here that the mother elephant is pushing her baby. All right, and then on number 2, the Jeep is pulling the boat. And then on number 3, the child is pulling a toy, right? So if you'd like to use those examples, you may. They are sentences, so begin with capitals and end with periods. But if you would like to use mine as an example, you can pause it right there. And we will continue with friction in just a moment. I sure wish the first graders were here to play with, but you know, I'm having fun with these. Oh, well, yeah, you are here, first grade. Nice you could join me. All right, now we're going to be talking about friction. So sometimes it is hard to move an object. Another force tries to keep it from moving. That other force is friction. Friction is a force that makes things slow down or even stop moving. It happens when one thing rubs against one another. Friction helps keep your feet from sliding. It helps you walk and run without slipping. It also helps you stop. Friction causes things to wear out. This has happened to some of you, I'm sure. Holes in your socks. It can cause clothes to get holes in them, or like your knees here. I know some of you have that too. Socks wear out from rubbing against shoes or the floor. Sometimes the knees and pants wear out. The pants, knees rub against many surfaces as you play. So what is friction again? It is a force that makes things slow down or stop moving. So more friction. Sometimes you want to have more friction. To make more friction, you can make surfaces rougher. Most sports shoes are rough on the bottom. The rough bottom helps you start and stop better when playing sports. So like in basketball, you want to be able to stop suddenly if you need to, not slide across the floor. And then less friction. Sometimes you want to have less friction. One way to make less friction is to make surfaces smoother. A smooth wood floor has less friction than the carpet does. Another way to have less friction is to have less surface to rub. Ice skates have a small surface that rubs against the ice, just like hockey skates too, right, Jace? The skates have less friction than shoes do. So how can you make a surface have more friction? Right, that's from causing something to be rougher, so it will slow down or stop the object even. So on our paper today, we have a little experiment we're going to do with some cars. That's why I wore my NASCAR shirt. It says, Michael and Abby raced their toy cars across the kitchen floor. Michael wanted to see what would happen if the cars rolled on a different surface. He moved to a small rug, so it was in the path of the cars. Then Michael and Abby raced their cars again. So, first of all, before we mark this, what do you think will happen? Do you think the cars will go faster and roll over the rug? Or do you think the cars will go slower and probably stop on the rug? All right, so let's find out with our rug here. So, are they going to go faster on the rug or slower? What do you think? Let's find out. All right, you guys can try this at home too. I know you've got cars and rugs at home. Yeah, it kind of didn't go very fast. So, we better go ahead and mark the second one here, the answer down here. With the cars, will go slower and probably stop on the rug. And the next question, what did Michael do when he added the rug? He made the floor have more friction, or he made the floor have less friction? What do you think the carpet caused? It caused more friction, didn't it? So the top sentence here. But just for fun, let's see what happens on the slick floor now. I know you can do this at home too, on your floor at home. Let's see if they go faster now on a slick floor. Yes, much faster because there's less friction here. All right, so you try this at home and let me know.